Hey, I'm Mechanical Engineer, and in today's video I'll be showing you how I built this wireless Bluetooth speaker for under 30 bucks. So let's go ahead and jump into it. So to begin, we're going to build our whole speaker around three things. First, we have a Bluetooth amplifier board, which will be the brains of everything. And although there's nothing wrong or even bad about the board, it was very inexpensive and there are definitely fancier models on the market. And then we have two individual speakers. I got these from a $6 iPod speaker system that I found at the thrift store. I'll leave a link in the description below for what kind of speakers these are, but it's always a good idea to check your local thrift store first because you can often find good speakers for dirt cheap. Now on to the design. Instead of having my speakers point straight out, I want to angle them outwards just a little bit so that we'll have more of a compact housing and so that they'll offer more of a surround sound effect. We'll also want them spaced far enough apart to where we can fit our amplifier board in between them, and also have enough room in the back to fit a 4 AA battery holder. So now that we have our basic dimensions figured out, we can go ahead and start cutting out frame pieces out of Lexan plastic. First, I'm going to cut out two 4-inch square pieces, then cut squares in the center of them just large enough for the speakers to fit into. Just like this. Next, I'm going to cut out small triangles and begin gluing them onto the inside bottom of the frames. This way our speaker will have something to screw into, plus it'll be flush with the top of the Lexan. Next, I cut out a 2x4-inch Lexan piece. I'm going to glue our speaker frames onto the side of it at a 45-degree angle. 45 is a pretty steep angle, so if you want to mount yours at a lesser angle, more power to you. But regardless of what degree you decide to go with, the easiest way I find to glue it all together is to cut your angles on the ends of two 1/2-inch by 2-inch long oak blocks. Glue the blocks onto the top and bottom of the center frame, then glue the side frames onto that. This way not only gives you more surface area to glue to, but also guarantees that you glue it at the proper angles. I'm now going to trace out this shape onto a sheet of Lexan, then cut out two pieces with the exact same shape, like these. Now we also have to cut out the back for it, but there has to be a removable panel on the back so we can get access to our batteries. The easiest way I found to do this is to cut out several different pieces and then assemble them all together. For instance, the back needs to be 8 inches wide, so I cut out two 4 by 2 3/4 inch pieces, spaced them 2.5 inches apart so they're 8 inches wide, then glued a 3/4 inch wide strip to the top and bottom of them. This way there's a hole in the center of it just large enough to snugly fit our AA holder. So after I build a small frame around the battery holder and glue the battery holder to it, we'll flip the whole assembly over, and as you can see there's a small recess in the back board. This is perfect because all we have to do now is cut out a 4 by 2.5 inch piece, pop it in there, and secure each corner with a screw. Just like this. Now whenever we need to access the batteries, all we have to do is unscrew the back plate. With that, we can now glue on our top and bottom piece to the back plate, using more oak wood pieces to help glue it together. After that, we can glue on two more 4-inch long oak wood pieces to the sides of the front plate that match the angles of the back plate. Then take a hot glue gun and seal up any cracks and crevices that air may be able to seep through. After that, we can pop the front plate into the back plate, then drop a screw in the front and both sides into the oak wood, flip it over and do the same on the bottom. Just like this. Then lastly, before painting, I'm going to take some sandpaper and round off any sharp edges. We are now ready to paint it. However, before you do, don't forget to tape off the inside speaker frames. While we give that some time to dry, we can take this time to construct the covers that are going to go over the speakers. All we're going to have to do this is cut out two more 4-inch frames identical to the ones we use for the speaker housings. Take an old extremely thin t-shirt, stretch it over the frames, wrap it around the corner, then use some super glue to glue it down. Just like this. Now back to the main housing. First, we'll unscrew and separate the two sections. And now we can begin to put in all of the electronics. I'm going to start by drilling a hole in the center of the front plate just large enough to snugly fit a power button into. Then I'll glue it in place. Next, I'll drop in my speaker, securing each corner with a screw. And then we can flip it over and seal up any cracks between the metal frame of the speaker and the plastic housing with hot glue. With that, we can now finally install our Bluetooth amplifier board. As you can see, this board has 6 different wires. We of course have the 2 power wires, and then we have 2 sets of audio output wires. So I'm going to start by soldering one set of output wires to one speaker and the other set to the other. Then we'll find somewhere for the board to sit and use just a little bit of hot glue to hold it in place. Now it's time to wire up the power. To do this, we'll just simply wire the negative wire from the power block to the negative wire on the circuit board, then solder the positive wire from our circuit board to one of the ends of the power button, and the positive wire from our battery holder to the other end. Now it is not entirely necessary, but I like to slide on some heat shrink tubing before soldering the wires just to help guarantee we don't have any shorts. Now we can close everything up. Then take the covers we finished a little while back and hot glue them over the speakers. With that, our speaker is now complete, and after we drop in the batteries and link it up with our phone, it's ready for testing. Now after I crank up the volume, we can give it a test. For such an inexpensive speaker, it works extremely well and it is very loud. It is somewhat difficult to relate the volume of this, but it's just safe to say that it is very loud, which is good. Here I am on the other side of the garage and it is still very loud. And of course, to control the speaker's volume, you can just simply use the volume rockers on the side of your phone. I'm very happy with how this turned out, and I'll definitely be using it on a regular basis. And there you have it, how to build your own Bluetooth speaker. But hey, thank you so much for you guys watching. I hope you did enjoy this video, and if you did, please feel free to hit the thumbs up and subscribe. And everyone, I'll see you next time.
Thanks for watching, and please feel free to subscribe.